Hello friends, in this video we are going to discuss the payment banks. In the recent years we see a lot of payment banks have come up and we are doing most of the transactions through payment banks these days. So what is this payment bank and then what are the legal backups for this and then what are the functions of this and how many payment banks are existing in our country. We are going to discuss all these things. Now, if you look at the evolution or the origin of the payment banks, then in 2013, the Reserve Bank of India published a discussion paper that is banking structure in India, the way forward. And in this report, a proposal was given basically that there was a need for niche banking in India and differentiate licensing for infrastructure financing, wholesale banking, and retail banking. So this proposal was discussed in 2013, and then a committee was set up, that is the Committee on Comprehensive Financial Services for Small Business and Low Income Households, which chairman was Dr. Nachiket Moore. That committee submitted the report in January 2014. So they basically also discussed that there should be a differentiated licensing for infrastructure financing, wholesale banking, and retail banking. So that actually provides basically the discussion starts in through these reports, and then in the budget union budget 2014-15 on July 10, 2014, the finance minister announced that now RBI will create a framework for licensing small banks and other differentiated banks. And basically, differentiated banks will serve the niche market and local area banks, payment banks, etc. And it will and are contemplated to meet the credit and remittance needs of small business, unorganized sector, low income households, farmer and migrant workforce. Basically, for the small banking, basically this will solve the purpose, and this can help in the financial inclusion. So that was the objective, and that was introduced in the Union Budget 2014-15. That is in 2014, July 10. And then when somebody starts the payment bank, then it has to actually register as a public limited company under the Companies Act 2013, and it should be licensed under Section 22 of the Banking Regulation Act 1949, and then it will be governed by the provisions of the Banking Regulation Act 1949, Reserve Bank of India Act 1934, then Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999, then Payment and Settlement Systems Act 2007, then Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation Act 1961, and other relevant statutes and directives. And then, if you see the objectives of the payment bank, why these payment banks were started, the key objective is basically the financial inclusion by providing small saving accounts and then payments or remittances services to the migrant labor force, low income households, small business, or unorganized sector entities and other users by enabling high volume, low value transactions in deposits and payments or remittances services in a secure technology driven environment. Basically, this is actually done for the small uh, households or the small business or the low income groups, and then for small saving accounts. So basically, this is to promote the financial inclusion and to differentiate from the large banking or wholesale banking. Such kind of banks were also created to promote the financial inclusion. Then, if you look at the scope of the activities, then the first one is it accepts demand deposits, and that is current deposits and saving bank deposits from individuals and small business and other entities as permitted. But no NRI can deposit money under this. And then payment banks will initially be restricted to holding a maximum balance of 1 lakh rupees. So if somebody opens an account in payment bank, you can deposit maximum 1 lakh rupees. Of course, in future this amount can change, but at present the limit is 1 lakh rupees. And then it can issue ATM card, and then it can issue debit cards. But payment banks actually cannot issue any credit card. That is the difference between a payment bank and actually other normal banks. And then payments and remittance services through various channels, including branches, auto trailer machines or ATMs, and then business correspondence and mobile banking. Then comes it can actually provide, it can issue prepaid payment instruments, PPIs, and then just like we are doing online transfer through Paytm or something. So these are basically prepaid payment instruments. You have certain money in your account and you are transferring money to somebody else. Then it can also provide internet banking, and then it can function as a business correspondent of another bank, and that is so a payment bank may choose to become a business correspondent of another bank, subject to the RBI guidelines on the banking correspondent. And then it can also accept remittances to be sent to receive remittances from multiple banks under a payment mechanism approved by RBI, such as RTGS, real-time gross settlement, NEFT, and then IMPS. And then we can also handle this. Payment banks can also handle cross-border remittance transactions in the nature of personal payments or remittances on current accounts. So similarly, it also can undertake other non-risk sharing simple financial services, and then it can also the payment banks may undertake utility bill payments, etc., on behalf of its customers. Like you can pay electricity bill or your water bill or all those bills through these payment banks. And then, however, it cannot set up subsidiaries to undertake non-banking financial service activities. So basically, these are the functions of a payment bank, and we see that the transactions are basically a small amount, and then but very high frequent transactions. So with small amount, 1 lakh rupees, usually you can keep your account and then transfer money to people, make payments on different for different services and utilities. And you can also have ATM card, or you can have debit cards, but you cannot get a credit card. Payment banks cannot give a credit card, and NREs cannot deposit money in the payment banks. So now, if you look at the payment banks in India, now we have Airtel payment banks. There are so many applications, close to 80 or more than more applications have come to RBI, and but at present we have these many payment banks. We have Airtel payment banks, then we have India Post payment bank, we have FINO payment bank, and then we have Paytm payment bank, which has been very popular. Airtel payment has been very popular. India Post payments also is becoming very popular nowadays for the rural areas. Then we have Geo Payment Bank, which is now gradually gaining popularity. Similarly, we have NSDL Payment Bank Limited. So these are actually six major payment banks in India, and payment banks are becoming very popular. And mobile banking or internet banking that we see, basically mobile banking, and we transfer money to people. These are all through the payment banks. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, you may click the like button, you may subscribe and share this video with others. Thank you for watching.